Wabano means new beginnings. It's an Ojibwe Algonquin word, and when they did the official opening, it was a name given by the Algonquin people here.
Wabano has been here for about 10 years, and I think that we can really see the effects of how our approach is working, both with a combination of the clinic downstairs, the Western medicine, but also how we're working with culture as a pillar for our healing process.
My name is Ryan Martin. I was born in Montreal, raised in Lissagish, Quebec, First Nation Reserve. I moved here a year ago. I'm 11 months sober from drugs and alcohol, and I'm trying to go back to high school, finish, and try to join the Air Force or start a new program for Chilwell Native youth. My first time walking in Wabano, I was very shy, nervous. I'm scared people are going to judge me right away, but they welcome me in like I'm there for a long time, and I like it there. I always want to go there every day.
When Wabano was deliberately placed in the poorest sector of this city, it was a deliberate move because this is where our people can walk to. It's a place they can walk into, and it is their place. They feel that they belong here. It's safe. It's accessible. So it's creating a place of belonging with all of those things, that it's safe and accessible, and that when they walk in, they see themselves. And in our communities, I know that that's not hard to do. You see yourself everywhere. In a city, sometimes that's very difficult to do.
With youth, particularly when they've been used to what you could say is more frantic life of the city, like going and going, it's a little harder to sit down, and they're not used to sitting down and chatting with adults. But having the Cedar Room, which is a beautiful room, when you walk into it, you're walking into a different place. It has a magic and a power of its own. And it has the colors are in there, and the culture's in there, and it's all lined with cedar, and there's nice benches with cushions. It's a comfortable place to be, and it's secure. It feels safer. It's easier then. I find it easier, and they seem to be able to explain to them and talk with them and bring them into why we're in there together, and to use the medicines just to slow down a wee bit.
How Wabano changed my life, a more positive, open mind, and very positive in my future. A lot of good friends and a lot of trust there. I can talk to people and talk to them how I feel, and they'll try to help me. Learn about my culture. I always want to learn every day something new about my culture, and I said the only way I can learn about my culture is stay sober. When I talk to them about my troubles, I always think it's my fault that my brother's in group home. We were living on the streets. I tried to commit suicide. I always see it as my fault. But they said that you're thinking negative. You need to start positive. Think about yourself, and you have to trust yourself that you didn't cause that trouble. And you have to trust yourself to become sober. So it's like in me.
We are inclusive of all First Nations, Inuit and Métis people. So we have a diversity here in Ottawa in that, of course, many Aboriginal people, First Nations people come to work with government agencies for one thing. So we have that influence. But we also have Inuit folks coming into town to get medical care, etc. And it seems to be somewhat of a hub for Inuit populations as well. So it's a very unique, very diverse community with lots going on. And so we have to serve that public and be able to work with all their needs culturally as well.
I go back to one piece about place. place has to hold your identity. It has to hold your values. You have to, it's like a container where all those pieces that you are here and seen. So a young person needs to feel that. So when you're creating something from the very beginning, you need to think about it in that respect.
I see how incredible the staff is with the young people, the counselors we have, the youth workers that we have, and that I think one of those things is that the direct link is so important. If they have someone to call, they can do that, and then those relationships of trust are established. So I see how well we find a way to establish that trust and then maintain it.
Wabano's trying to help me make a program for troubled youth and use my skills, my story to help them out. And Wabano trusts me to finish it.
I remember one of the most important things I used to say and still say is that our identity is linked to our wellness. And without a solid identity, without knowing who you are, you will be unwell. But we are also struggling with a system where our value is not the same, that we are unequal, that we come from a place of deficit. But knowing that, what is our greatest strength? And our greatest strength is our culture. It is who we are. So one of the basic things that we do here, one of the pillars of this organization was to say, everything we do must be part of our culture. We must intertwine our songs and our stories and all of the traditions together in every single program, whether it's perinatal, whether it's the making of a moss bag, whether it's our youth and the stringing of a drum and the teaching them their very first song. Those are the things that are important. Those are the things that lead us to remember, because it's all in us, but we have to bring it out. We have to bring that voice out and find that voice. And I think that's what Wabano does so well in this center, is that we allow everyone to have their voice.
If you would like to get more information about suicide prevention resources for First Nations, Inuit and Métis youth, visit honoringlife.ca.